Okay, so we're recording, so go ahead.
All right, so I'm Miguel,
I'm Laddie.
and we did our presentation on East Africa's locust issue that's going on right now. First thing is that we talked about the East African lifestyle. East Africa is full of a lot of diseases right now, such as AIDS, that's the most harmful, and other things like malaria. In East Africa, a lot of the main crops that they use is like rice. Rice is one of the most common ate foods there. So a lot of the crops that they make are used for their food, not really killing many animals. FGM is usually carried out for reasons of cultural or gender identity. That's basically circumcision for women. And in East Africa, they're really religious, and they believe that for their traditions that it's better for the women to be circumcised. East Africa is known for its very respectful culture and their way of living. They go on to help each other a lot, and it's really of a community feel.
So what is locust, right? So locusts might seem a little like harmless little grasshoppers, and they're pretty much like a grasshopper. They eat plants, they hop a long distance on springy back legs. Just one locust can cause trouble. The problem is locusts, sometimes they gather in big groups. So that's what we call swarm. And a swarm of locusts can stretch over 400 square miles in size and includes billions of hungry insects. And let me see. People have feared locust swarms for thousands of years. An approaching swarm looks like a big black cloud, like a big coming. It's like a swarm, but like it's like agile. A swarm, the insect eat everything in sight. They eat crops like rice, what Miguel said, flowers, grass, and even clothing, and sometimes even furnitures, like what you mentioned, Professor, like last time. African countries, they sell like business outside, like the bed frames and stuff. They could kill businesses like that. And yeah, on to the next slide.
Cool. So how this problem started, locusts love rainfall, and in East Africa, it's been going on for the past couple of years. A lot of rain has been falling, a lot of cyclones have been happening, some pretty big storms. And because of that, the locusts have been able to reproduce. It's perfect for their breeding conditions. And also, there's a lot of crops in East Africa where the locusts could live and feed off of. And I read something that said that a small portion of swarm eat about the same amount as 2,500 people in a day. So that's just a small amount of the swarm. So you could just imagine if you add it all together, it's probably millions of people. Next slide.
So how does locusts like destroy East Africa? So swarm have invaded about 15 counties in Kenya already, and they're spreading out on other counties like Uganda, Tanzania, and Sudan. So people normally put a fire, setting fires and making noise in an attempt to ward off the locusts. So the UN is aiding about 76 million, but in January, but it's been only 20 million has funded as of now. And on the next slide.
So what the people are trying to do to start to help, basically scientists in Africa are trying to find out where these breeding points are starting. With that, they could find out where the mass, or like where the food is being like lost most. And if they find out where they're breeding, then they could use pesticide, because pesticide is the only way to kill them. Directly pointed at them, use pesticide. And if there's millions of them, it's pretty hard to contain them all. As my partner said, the UN is really helpful, giving advice such as also predicting the next wave, because they're saying that the next wave could be up to 20 times worse than the one that is going on right now. And especially due to like the coronavirus, the people haven't gone out really, and it's just letting the locusts like go fly around and do all that they do. Next slide.
So what's next for East Africa? So they need a better education system, protect their crops and business, maintain, possibly improve their economy. When it's all about management in Africa, when it's managed effectively and equitable, these vast yet fragile land, water, and wildlife resources can contribute to the national economy and improve the lives of local communities. So East African countries will continue to face health challenges, including large numbers of maternal and child deaths and adverse effect of infectious diseases. And yeah, that's pretty much it, what we have.
And yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Right, y'all. I'm going to stop the recording right now.